or not, do not care. Diaz has been with Deontay Wilder since the first day he stepped in the gym. He's a good coach. People are making all this about the comment of tucking in the towel. So much. You can't round everything up into one thing. And first thing I will say, a tremendous amount of mindset that Deontay Wilder has area in terms of live by the sword, I die by the sword. Or not, as a coach, you want that to happen, and whether you have a possibility to care of that matter, you have to respect his mindset because he fucking means it. You not want that towel chucked in.
Those are the words of Ben Davison as he, first of all, he defends Jay Diaz. He gives the backstory and the history of Jay Diaz's origin with Deontay Wilder. He was the first person to ever be or work with or for Deontay Wilder. And he said he's a very good coach and he knows what he's doing. And Ben also mentioned that he has to respect Deontay Wilder in the area of wanting to go out on his shield. That's what he wants to do. That's what he meant. So let that be that. Okay. My counterpunch to Ben at this point is, Jay Diaz is a guy that, first of all, I want people to understand it's not the fact of how good he is as a coach or how good he is or not. I just want to point out the simple fact that his responsibility was to see a particular thing. Now, if Jay Diaz did his job, that means Glovegate doesn't exist. That's the point. That's the whole point of Jay Diaz being in there overseeing at both times. Okay, from the first fight and the second fight. Did he see something that he didn't supposed to see? Okay. Now I heard it was said that Jay Diaz did not touch those gloves at all. Okay, does that make you necessarily a bad coach? Maybe he's seen it so many times that it looked normal, therefore he didn't have to touch the glove or whatnot. Okay, and Ben Davison takes up for Jay Diaz. Okay, he takes up for him in a sense it's like, he's a good coach. He knows what he was doing. In other words, this is what Ben is saying. Like I said before, Jay Diaz knows what he's doing. He's a good coach, so he knows what to look for and what looks strange and what doesn't look strange. And what didn't look strange was those gloves that night. Counterpunch. Okay? That's what he's saying. First off. And let's continue.
By the sword, and he'll rather die by the sword. I only respect that. He means it. He genuinely does mean it. Taking a hiding. Wanted to take his hiding. And only respect that. In terms of the factor that, of course, he carries power. Of course. Can he land a shot and change a fight? Of course he can. Going to happen? Probably not. Has that constant belief in himself mixed with the fact that he rather by the sword, so to speak. Obviously, no one wants that to happen. You can only respect that. Okay.
Okay. And again, he gives homage and gives acknowledgement to what Deontay Wilder wanted, what was his wishes during the fight. If certain things don't go the way they're supposed to go, let me get knocked out. Let me go out on my shield. You look, here's the thing. For that reason, you can respect that. Because it's a lot of fighters that feel the exact same way. Kell Brook is another, when Kell Brook got stopped by Triple G, when he got stopped by Terrence Crawford, those type of things. And you look at both, even if you just take Kell Brook, he'd have just got knocked out, and it would have been in a worse way. The man broke his orbital bone in the Triple G fight. So fighting and going out on your shield, so to speak, would have been very, very detrimental to your health. You know what I'm saying? So saying that, it sounds cool, it sounds brave, or it sounds like some honor or some reverence in it. But at the end of the day, people stop the fight because they have common sense. People have common sense. Mark Breland had common sense. Okay, he knew exactly what to do. Like, no, this ain't right. Deontay Wilder, he's not doing anything in this fight to let me think that he's trying to win or he's going to win this fight. The strategy is all off for this man. So why am I continue to see my fighter? He hired me to protect him. Okay, that's one thing that people are overlooking. These trainers are hired not only to train the fighter, but to protect the fighter, as well as the referee. The referee's job ain't to see how tough the fighter is. The trainer's job ain't to see how far his fighter can be pushed unless they know he has a certain gear, which that gear was not being hit. It wasn't being moved or clutched in that fight. It was not. Wilder did not have another gear when he started going backwards. Okay, and it was very, I just saw the fight last night. We covered the fight live. We covered all the files on the fight. Okay, the fight itself was a one-sided fight. From the time Wilder went down, and from that, it went downhill, and he just, on the decline. He still showed he was strong because he was able to twirl Tyson Fury around and all. However, what was the chances of him winning that fight? Let's continue.
I didn't like was the fact that he said, he worked for me. Okay, now, I don't like that mindset. It's a difficult situation because the boxer employs the coach. But who's the boss? The boss.
The fighter, though, Ben.
Yeah, because if the fighter does what the fighter wants to do, I'm steering him. Who's looking after him? Who's making sure he goes in the right direction?
Okay, now, what Ben Davidson said, he didn't like the idea of, the trainer working for the fighter. And I kind of get what he's saying 50-50. Now, the boxer does hire the trainer. That is right. But here's the weird thing about that. The boxer, again, hires the trainer to do his job. And again, just like I said, the trainer's job is not to see how much punishment a fighter can take. And regardless of what a fighter says while he's outside of the ring saying, hey, don't ever do this while I'm inside the ring. Look, how many people thought that they had one more round left? They can go this far. They can just give me a little bit more time. How many fights have that happened in that fight? And then those fights have been stopped. Hundreds of times where the fighter itself didn't want to stop the fight, but the trainer was like, you know what? I see it from a different perspective. Now maybe that fighter was trying to wear out that other fighter, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, that trainer has the authority to stop that fight, or he should. Okay, given his position. Damn what he heard or what was said. Some things you can't talk about in the spare of the moment. Counterpunch. You can't talk about, hey man, he's bloodied. He's bleeding from his nose, his mouth, his ears. Okay. So at what point do you say, you know what, let's talk about it? Obviously, we've already got that out in the open. Jay Diaz was not talking to Deontay Wilder about what Mark said to him, about what Mark wanted to do. Nobody was fucking listening to Mark. That was the real story. And is Mark more qualified than Jay Diaz? Yes, he was. And otherwise, he wouldn't even be there. Who was in front of Deontay Wilder? Who's in front of Deontay Wilder taking instruction? Mark Breland, not Jay Diaz. Jay Diaz is on the side, to the left of him or to the right of him, giving him water. That's not the main guy. The main guy was Mark Breland. I don't give a shit who got paid more money. I know who was paid to do a particular job, and Mark knew what his job title was, and he did what he's supposed to do. Counterpunch. Okay? This is what it comes down to. Now, what Ben said, well, I don't like that because it kind of takes the authority away from the trainer. And that's true, because if that's the case, well, you know, look, if that's the case, look at it this way. What Ben is saying is, what is the trainer doing there? You know what I'm saying? Because what it is, oh, I'm his boss. What you mean? You want somebody to tell you what you want to hear. But it's not always about that, especially when your health is on the line, when your life is in danger. And the same motherfucker that says, hey, you know what? We put our lives on the line. Okay, you know that. So you know other people know that too, don't you? That's the same thing you preach. You preach we put our lives on the line. Other people know that, and they're responsible for your life because they are the ones that you have to pay them. You think they want you dead or crippled or in a coma or something other crazy stuff like that? No, they don't want you like that. If they have any sense, if they have any compassion or care for you, they don't want you like that at all. Okay, so I'm the boss, he does what I say. But again, you can't make these type of decisions after the fact, because in the spare of the moment, you don't have time. You have to make a decision, and Mark took that and made that decision. But anyway, I'm wrapping this up. You guys tell me what you think about Ben Davidson's comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.